Well, as you can tell by the title of this video, we have problems. I just got back from a drive and you can hear the car running behind me. I'm going to show you what's going on. I don't know if you can tell. We got quite a bit of blow-by coming out of the catch can. And when I'm sitting at a traffic light, just sitting there idling, you can see the smoke coming out of the hood. And it never used to do that. And my oil pressure is the lowest it's ever been. It's sitting around 17, 18 pounds right now. Well, I'm just gonna, actually I just shut off. So, that sucks. That really sucks. The blow-by coming out of the catch can, I can smell it when I'm driving. You can just smell the burning oil. And when I stop at any traffic light or whatever, you just see the smoke just pouring out of the hood. That idling, the way you just saw right there, had been sitting here for a little bit, so I don't know if you can see the smoke coming out of it on the camera, but it's pretty excessive when you're sitting at a traffic light and you just see the first time it happened, I thought something was on fire. And then when I popped the hood, it was just pouring out of the breather. So, crappy. My immediate suspicion is I'm wondering if I cracked a ringland on a piston. Okay, so what I've had planned and what I've been doing over the last couple weeks is I've got a dyno session scheduled for next week. So I've been driving the car for the last couple weeks. I've been taking it to work, just trying to iron out any issues that might be going on with it. And I've had a few oil leaks that I've dealt with. I had a sensor, I'll show you. This guy is my dome pressure sensor plug and it melted because I had it. This guy used to be pointed out this way and the heat from the flange cooked this guy. So I put a little 90 in it and diverted it away and now it's fine, but that guy got melted. So I was trying to make sure I've got all the problems and kinks worked out of it before it hits the dyno. And now it's blowing smoke. And my oil pressure is significantly lower. Now, this all started roughly after I gave this thing a wide open pull. Like it was the first time I laid into it, I put it to the floor, I hit about 6,500 RPM, shifted it, hit 6,500 RPM again in second, shifted it, and it was shortly thereafter that I started noticing blow-by. And in case you were wondering, I had my laptop hooked up to it, and this thing is making 6 pounds of boost, which is what it should be roughly making because I've just got it on wastegate and I've got a 7-pound spring in there. And with the laptop hooked up, it tells you on the screen there what your boost is, and I'm making 6 pounds. And I guess this tired old motor didn't like 6 pounds. So 2 steps forward, 1 step back, I guess. And it looks like I'm gonna have to bring this thing in and we're gonna do a compression test on it and see what's going on. That's all I can think of right now. All right, I got the car rack in here. I've got the wheels taken off because it's easier to access all the spark plugs just from in here because I don't have any inner wheel wells. Yeah, I already went ahead and pulled all the plugs out. And we're gonna do a compression test and figure out what's going on. And of course I chose, again, one of the hottest days of the summer to do it. It's like 30 degrees in here without the humidity. And well, whatever, it's been the whole summer anyway. So I'm gonna get this thing spun over, and we'll start writing some numbers down and see what we got. All right, we're gonna start with cylinder number 7 here, and we'll see what we get. And it looks like we hit 150. So I'm going to do the same to all the rest, and we'll see what we get. Alright, after doing all 8 cylinders, those are my numbers. My lowest numbers being 150. And I actually had a couple, like one that was at 200. One at 170, but the rest of them were between 150 and, you know, low 160s. So I mean, 150 is my lowest cylinder. You wouldn't think you have a broken ringland or piston. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to talk to the shop that's gonna dyno it and see what they think, because to me that was an excessive amount of blow-by that I got going on, and it didn't start out like that. It wasn't until I made some hard pulls that it started doing that. And with the oil pressure dropping, I don't know if I just cooked my oil and it's lost its properties now and it's just too thin, and if I should change the oil and see if that does anything. I mean, at idle it dips down to like 17 psi. I've never had it go that low before. So I'm going to talk to the guys and we'll see what they say. I don't want to pay for a dyno session and have a catastrophic failure because of broken ringlands, if I do in fact have one, which I'm starting to think maybe I don't. But if I have a bearing issue and I'm losing oil pressure that way, I'd rather get a hold of it now and fix it, and not have the engine come apart and be out. Like, you know, I don't want to have to totally scrap the motor if I can save it. And I don't want to pay for a dyno session and basically waste everyone's time and waste my money for it to just puke its guts all over the floor. Well, that's part of the game, I guess, playing with this and figuring it out. But hopefully I have an answer shortly. So I do have one theory as to what the problem could be. During the whole ironing out the issues kind of week I've had, I've just been running just conventional cheap 2050 in there, and just because I've got some Valvoline VR1 that I'm gonna throw in it right before it hits a dyno, but this stuff's expensive, and if I have to drain the oil because of a problem, I didn't want to waste that stuff. So I just threw some cheap oil in there. And what I'm wondering is, because it's not synthetic holds up the heat much, much better than conventional oil does. And when I beat on it the other day, I tell you, I beat on it. When I pulled into work, my turbos were glowing. So I'm wondering if I basically cooked the oil and removed any vital properties from it, and maybe now the oil is just basically cooking inside the engine, and that's why I'm getting the smoke coming out of the breather. And maybe because today I noticed the oil pressure is lower than normal, given the oil is so beat up, and it was such a hot day when I took it for a drive today, the oil could be thinning right out and, you know, giving me my problems. So I'm going to run this by the shop and see what they think. But if any of you guys know anything about this, know anything about whether or not oil would cause the problems I'm having, feel free to comment, because I'm just not 100% sure. It's just a theory I'm having right now. But hopefully I have answers for you soon, and hopefully I don't have to rip this motor apart. Because I would like to enjoy the rest of the summer with it, and I really want to see if all my hard work pays off. But yeah, if anybody has an ideas of what could be the problem, feel free to comment. And I do read the comments, don't worry. And yeah, I'll see what I find out.